everyone, this is Ron from iTech Legion, and this is part of our review of the Gigabyte AiVia Osmium mechanical gaming keyboard, and this is where I test out the rollover functionality and key rollover functionality. According to Gigabyte, this supposedly has 64 keys rollover functionality, meaning it can you can press up to 64 keys simultaneously without locking up. What typically happens is that USB is limited to 6 KRO, and sometimes some PS2 connectors are limited to 2 KRO, some keyboards rather. And whenever you press, for example, more than that certain amount of buttons, it will produce that audible beep with the of course, meaning that it hit its limit. But with 64 key rollover functionality, you can pretty much do anything. For example, when you're moving diagonally, you want to reload, or melee, or if you're moving diagonally the other way, control there, toss a grenade. That's completely up to you, but you see here, I don't even have enough fingers to test out all the rollover functionality, but I haven't stumped this keyboard yet. As you can see, I can pretty much hold everything, even across the other side of the num key. I'm using my fingers here and my cell phone, basically holding everything down, because 64 keys is a lot. You can basically, you have 26 keys for the alphabet and 10 numbers, so that's 36 keys already, and that's not even I mean, that's half of the capabilities of that 64 keys. So I can only test the 36 keys, and I don't really know anyone who actually needs all 64 keys press this simultaneously. But other than that, you can see it works perfectly well. For those who are wondering why or how this works, the issue is that there's something called anti-ghosting, where it is usually a limitation with non-mechanical keyboards, because they have that with the PCB matrix, there is a certain, especially if it's via USB, there's a certain amount of key presses that are in a certain matrix, and it's limited, and not just because of the amount of 6 key presses by USB, but also because of the layout of the PCB underneath each one. For this keyboard, let me just show my device manager here, and there. If you notice, if you look closely in the keyboard, there's 3 hid keyboard devices being seen. We've seen this before in other mechanical gaming keyboards that have 20 KRO functionality. I saw 2, but this one has 3. So enable that functionality. Essentially, it's seeing your operating system is seeing more than one keyboard. That's why it's allowing that high number of simultaneous key presses, because it's not just detecting it as from one keyboard. And also, compared to typical keyboards that have the 6 KRO limitation or 2 KRO limitation, plus the PCB matrix, of the regular gaming keyboards, even the gaming ones that purport to have anti-ghosting, there are still limitations because their PCB matrix is sort of laid out in a way that some keyboard combinations are in the same matrix, so you can't press them all at the same time. For example, if WASD R and maybe one of your modifier, if 3 of these are in the same matrix, even if you have 6 in total, you cannot press WS and then R at the same time. So it's good that you have a functionality that essentially allows you to press any combination at all, and it will not, as you can see, you're not hearing it beep at all. It's not being limited even in my modifiers there. Pretty much depressing the entire thing here. I'm just limited by the amount of space in my hand and my fingers here. Pretty much. If you can do that and it's still registering, you're pretty much safe with the rollover functionality. Even with the numpad here, I could do the same thing. I could press the entire thing, even with the num key. In case you're not familiar with this software, this is actually a the only difference is I have a special function key here and a win lock key. That's why there's no right side Windows key here on this keyboard. So as you can see, that Windows key and the menu key is not pressed because there's no such keys in this in the Gigabyte Osmium. But if you can do that, it doesn't lock up. It still keeps on going. You're perfectly fine with any game, even Street Fighter, which pretty much has the fastest kind of input requirements compared to any game out there, since pro Street Fighter players pretty much count the frame rates instead of sort of compared to FPS games or compared to strategy games. And also, we have for those we're asking the keyboard, the mechanical sound of it, if it's noisy or not. So let me just fire up. Oh, I disabled the windows here. Let me just fire up Microsoft Word here, and I'm going to type just a little something, a little blurb I wrote about this Gigabyte Osmium. And I'll be looking at my phone here while I type. See if I can. And you can. I'm going to shut up so you can hear. I'll probably be. This is my normal typing. I have very heavy hands, so this is my normal typing sound. And also, you notice if there's any errors with the input, if keys are doubling or whatnot. Alright, there you have it. Let me just increase the font here so you can see. Or just minor errors I did here. I forgot to kind of hold my shift here. It's brown, which is little typo there. But usually when you see a keyboard that is producing, especially some gaming keyboards that are producing kind of delay with the input or doubling or type doubling. For example, you will see double S's, double N's when you're typing, and you leave the key press there. Perfectly fine. As you see there, I'm pretty used up to typing, so I don't have any issue. So let me just type that again so you can hear and also see. Look closely if there are any errors with the input plugged in. Of course, you can tell between if it's a human error or if it's machine error, because machine error it will type in Y twice. No, for example, if I type keystrokes, it will type Y twice. No human would press Y twice in the keyboard. There you go. As you can see, perfectly fine. I don't have any errors with the type doubling and stuff like that. Even if I hold it, it takes a while to kind of repeat the key there. So if you're not, I'm not a typing scrub, so I didn't get any errors there. And it works perfectly well. And if judged by the sound of it, you might find it loud, especially if you haven't heard gaming keyboards before. Of course, brown is actually the lighter sounding compared to other keys, especially compared to blues. I have a blue keyboard here. Let me just grab here and just have you compare. Putting in front of me is the same distance as my brown earlier. So you can hear the difference there compared to this one where, let me just type that, where the sound is a bit more rounder and it doesn't really make a lot of a loud sound until it hits the base plate there at the bottom. If you have very light fingers, you can probably type without hitting that bottom, but of course it's user dependent. But for the most part, it's perfectly fine, reasonable. And the difference is compared to the red. The red is a linear switch. There's another version with the red switch for the AiVia. It has a linear mechanical switch, means that it does not have that feedback. The brown and the blue both have feedback, but the blue has deliberately. This is the blue has deliberately a much more mechanical kind of click, clack. While the brown is more rounder sounding. It has that feedback. It tells you, your fingers, that the press has been registered, but it does not have the clickety clackety of the blue that you hear there. Alright, that's pretty much it for the sound demonstration there, and you can see that it's perfectly working. The same with the ghosting functionality, and you can read the rest of the review at www.hightechlegion.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/hightechlegion, and you can tweet at us at twitter.com/hightechlegion. And that is pretty much it. This is Ron once again signing out. You can click on the link below for the full review. Also click on the link below for my unboxing video of the Gigabyte AiVia Osmium mechanical keyboard, and also the software overview. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time.